I'm Mike Hamlar, host of the New Virginia Economy. And we have our guest today, Frank Smith with the RVBA. Frank, welcome.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
So tell us, what is the RVBA?
Well, the RVBA is the Roanoke Valley Broadband Authority, and it really is a creation started with business leaders such as William Fralin and Ed Walker, looking at the needs of the area to compete in the 21st century economy. And they looked at the current level of internet service and things that were available, and they realized that we were competing against cities like Chattanooga, Bozeman, Montana, Boise, Idaho, and other places. And they worked together to pay for and do a study on the requirements, and that led to the municipalities getting together to form the Roanoke Valley Broadband Authority.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad they started it because it's a very important topic. So I know we talked about this a little bit, but what is all of this? This is fiber optics, right?
That's
correct. And I see it's glowing and something's going on, and that's how data's distributed. I was a little techie back in the day. I used to build computers and stuff. So what is that stuff?
Well, really what it is that fiber optics passes light. So if you look here at the end, you've got the blue, and that represents data communications coming across. It's not coming out of the fiber, but it's being transported across the fiber. So we have many strands of fiber. And part of that thing is, take this, let's say this is 144 strands. That goes in one of these tubes, and this is what we put in the ground. We put in almost 50 miles of it, and we're starting the second phase here within a week or two.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. So how does that affect the local economy and basically the economy in Virginia? Because everything's local. It starts on the local level.
Sure. Well, really, it's one word. It's well, actually two words. It's economic development.
Right. That
That is the key to this, or the crux of this, the crux of the matter. For us to be able to compete, we've got to have world-class internet service, and that's what we've done within the Roanoke Valley Broadband Authority in cooperation with the City of Salem, the City of Roanoke, the County of Roanoke, and the County of Botetourt.
So everybody's signed on, everybody's on board, they see how important this is to bring jobs to the area, to get the speeds up for people in rural areas and just all over the region, right?
That's absolutely correct.
Okay.
They're just not committed, but they're involved and they're making headway as one team working together.
Oh, very good, very good. You got to have the regional cooperation
That's
to get it done.
absolutely right.
So tell us, what else would you like us to know?
Well, I think one of the things we need to think about today as an economy, we just don't compete amongst ourselves, just
Right.
within we're competing against other areas, I've said before, is with folks like Bozeman, Montana, and Chattanooga and Boise. But the question, what's the difference? Why is this important? Well, if we want to attract companies, or we want to retain jobs, or more importantly, do we want to retain talent and attract talent? This is a table stakes requirement for a community to be able to compete, to have that infrastructure which allows them to get world-class services. So if you're a data communications company, or more just not data communications, hospitals, government, education, business, this is a requirement to be able to compete in today's economy.
So basically, I can tell you as a business broker, the top 5 checklist, top 3 on most companies is, do you have access to broadband? And we would never know if they were coming here or not. I mean, we talked to a lot of people in the area throughout the state that do these surveys, and companies have looked in our region, have looked at other regions, but unfortunately, they may not service that area. So does that hold true for a lot of companies? I know you mentioned a little bit about that. Could you go in a little bit more depth about it?
I'd be glad to, Mike.
Yeah.
I think that's it's a good table stakes question, as I've said, is that, for example, at the state level, the Commonwealth level, as far as economic development aspects are concerned, we had conversations with some of the folks on at the state level, and specifically when a company comes in and takes a look at an area, the first question out of the box they're checking is, does it have world-class, reliable, superior broadband?
And that's the key, the world-class, reliable, superior broadband.
That's correct.
That's the key word.
That's exactly it. And so right off the bat, if you don't have that, you're out of the game. So that is a differentiator. That's a filtering that we have. So when we look at economic development here in the area, we've got to have this as a resource. We've got to have it engineered correctly, deployed, and more importantly, and most importantly, we've got to make sure it's the best in class.
Wow. Frank, thank you so much. So if people want to get in touch with you, they want to help out, they want to support you, how do they get in touch with you? What's the phone numbers or emails or whatever you want people to have?
The thing is, my direct number, I love people to call me directly. It's area code 540-904-1073, or you can go to rvba.online. And that's our website, and there's contact information. We also have public meetings every month, because all our books, everything is open because we're a public entity, and we have full transparency because we're working with the community everybody in the community.
Wow, Frank, again, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Great, thank you.
And educating us about fiber optics and why it's important to our economy here in Virginia. As always, we want to thank our sponsors. Again, thank our guest, Frank Smith. And for more information, go to newvirginiaeconomy.com. And well, that's it for today, everybody. Thank you again for tuning in. I'm Mike Hamlar. Remember, stay focused, remain engaged, and be encouraged, because together we are building the new Virginia economy.